Thank you, Lord.
It's a little bit different. The way the service has gone so forth. I guess the devil's trying to talk me out of this. You just want to kill the service. But this morning, Nathan preached on how the young people want to do. All the things that is out there in the world that ties. But I just want to try to paint you a picture tonight. Pray for it.
Thank you, Lord.
I just want to try to paint you a picture tonight of where you're going. If you don't heed to what Nathan said this morning. There's a thing called reality. And there's only two places that this soul goes.
That's right.
When we leave this walk of life.
That's right.
And one of them you hear a lot about, but the other you don't hear as much.
That's right.
But it ain't about, for me, it ain't about going to heaven as much as it is about escaping hell.
Amen.
If you can go and sit in a dark room for eternity and never be able to speak to anybody or never even be able to see anything but darkness again,
Yeah.
that would be so much better
Oh, yeah.
than dying and going to hell. I've already told them about heaven, all the things that we got to look forward to if we'll endure to the end. But all those things, I've thought several times, there's a song that I used to hear quite often on the radio. If I just live a little box on the side of the road, just to get to go to heaven, and not have to learn for eternity.
Amen.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah. Bless you, God. Thank you, Lord.
Very popular scripture tonight. Just want to try to read it. It's what the Lord gave me. In Luke chapter 16, verse 19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels in Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes. Now I want you to ponder on that word lift. Being in torments, and that's another word I want you to think about, torments. And seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. You may receive it. Just one little words that I just got through speaking. My mouth's so dry that until I took that drink of water, I couldn't. It was getting hard to talk. I want you to think about something for a minute. It ain't just the fire. It ain't just where the worm died. No, it's not all the thing. But think about an eternal separation from God Almighty. desire that I had to take that drink of water was quite fierce. But you imagine going through eternity and your tongue is more dry, and more dry, and more dry. The Bible says that he lifted up his eyes.
Yeah.
I believe 100% that man's still looking up.
Yeah. Amen.
He didn't say he lifted it up and then put it back down. He said he lifted up. He's still sitting there in flames.
Right.
And then after that it says, being in torments. That's plural.
Yeah.
It's not just the fire. Like I said, it's not just eternal separation from God. It's many things that you'll endure.
That's
In
right.
this place called hell.
Amen.
And the sad reality is
Bless God.
that there's so many of us. I've heard it before. We come down to the house of God, and I said it this morning, but I can't get away from it. It's so simple. When the Spirit's drawing, just give into it.
Yeah. Amen.
Sell out to it.
Amen.
And you don't have to worry about what I'm preaching on.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about dying and going to hell,
Right.
where you're going to die and never die.
That's right.
You're going to wish you was dead,
Amen.
but you ain't going to die.
That's right.
Help him, Lord. Bless him.
But
It may be a little slow tonight, but
touch
I want us to really grasp this tonight. I want you young people to please listen to me for just a minute. I'm going to tell you the same thing Nathan told you this morning. I ain't saying none of this, and I ain't preaching on this because I'm trying to point fingers, but I'm trying to single someone out. If a man of God stands up here and he don't tell you about this awful place called hell, he really don't love you.
No.
That's right.
No, that's right.
If your mom and dad always pats you on the back and tells you it's always going to be a bed of roses, they don't love you.
That's right. Amen.
The Bible says, if thy eye offend thee, pluck it out,
That's right.
and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish,
That's right.
that the whole body should be cast into hell.
Amen.
If there's something standing between you and God, why would you not want to get rid of it?
That's right.
Why would you let one little thing? I've seen people that go to church every single Sunday.
But
They put on a good show, I guess you'd say.
bless you, God.
But as the Bible says, they lack just one thing. If there's something standing between you and God, you say, preacher, is that going to keep me out of heaven? Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Has God told you to give something up and you've not done it? Is what you're doing does it mean more to you than going to heaven?
Come on, Jaron. Amen.
Is there something He's told you to do? And you're just not doing it. It is so serious, folks, that you do what God tells you to do.
Amen.
For them to know to do good, do it not. I quote this all the time. You just see it. And if God's told you to do something or not to do something, and you continue doing it or you don't do it, my Bible tells me that you ain't going to inhabit the kingdom of heaven.
Amen. Amen. That's the book.
That's just as plain as I know how to put it. Nathan talked this morning about your friends and the influences that they have on you. Me and Nathan was talking the other night, and I told him, I said, you know, I'm a younger person. When you look at, you know, the average age, I guess, in America today, it ain't been too long ago, I was a teenager. Running them streets,
Come on, Jared.
doing things that I know my mom and dad wouldn't have been proud of me.
Right.
But I never seemed to give thought. I worried about what mom and dad thought, but it never really entered my mind. What does Jesus think about it?
That's right.
Come on, Jaron.
Right.
Some of you may have moms and dads that don't really care about church or God. I was fortunate enough to have one or two.
Amen.
But it doesn't really matter. They may tell you they're not even proud of you because you come down to the house of God. But it doesn't matter what man thinks about you.
That's right.
That's right.
All that matters.
Amen. Right.
And he sent his only begotten Son
Come on, Jared. Amen.
to give us his pathway of salvation. I'm sorry tonight, folks. I'm just trying to follow the Spirit of the Lord.
Yeah.
You
Come on.
too, man.
I told the Lord the other day, I said, Lord, I won't stand behind this pulpit again. I can't feel your Spirit.
Amen.
Last time I told you, I felt cold. Lord's asked me to preach on this for a while. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to hurt feelings. I didn't want the young people to think that I was trying to single them out.
Come on, Jared.
But I love you.
Right.
I want you to paint a picture in your head. I read a thing this morning, or a while ago, I guess it was. The man said that he died. He was hit by a car. And he died, or at least the doctor pronounced him dead. And I hope I'm not trying to tell it the way that I remember it. But he said as they was taking him into the hospital on the gurney, I guess he died on the way in. And he said he knowed that he was still on the gurney. He could see himself. And I'm sure everybody's probably heard stories like this. This is just really, it's scary. He said he was like in this big cave. And he said he could see straight through to the other side. And he said they was rolling that gurney in with his body into that cave. And he said he could feel the heat getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And he thought, I'm still alive. I should be able to get up off this gurney and run back away from this heat. You know, when you're around a campfire nowadays, you get too hot, what do? You back up, don't you? When you die, there ain't no backing up.
That's right.
There ain't no saying, Lord, let me do that over again.
No, sir.
Lord, give me that just one more chance to do what you asked me to do.
Amen. Right.
Lord, give me one more chance to praise your name, to sing a song, to testify.
Amen.
Whatever you ask me to do, God, I'm willing to do it. Just don't make me go to this place called hell.
That's right.
Bless you, Lord.
I've heard sermons preached on this topic all my life. And when I was young, I remember sitting on the edge of my seat,
Thank you, God.
shaking from head to toe,
Amen.
because of the fear that was in my heart But you don't see that much anymore.
No, sir.
People treat hell like it's just some fantasy land.
Come on, Jared.
But the sad reality is the moment that you die, and I'd like for you just to go home, if you got internet or whatever, and just pull up on Google or whatever. How many people under the age of 18 die every single day?
Amen.
Not just a week, not just a month, every single day.
Right.
How many of those people do you think really had the goods?
That's right. True. That's right.
How many people stands and listens or sits under the preaching of somebody that'll tell you that you can't just do whatever you want to do and go to heaven? How many churches believe that you have to live holy to go to this place called heaven?
Come on, Jared.
Now you think about that for a minute. And I believe with all my heart, there's going to be other people in other churches. I'm not saying that. I believe with all my heart there'll be other people.
Come on.
But when you've been preached to and you've been told that there's more to it than just saying, God have mercy on my soul,
Yeah.
then it's held accountable to you.
That's right. That's right.
When you've heard those words, that's when you know to do good.
That's right.
And then if you don't do it after that,
It'll be required.
your blood will be on your own hands. It's off the preacher man's hands.
That's
When he
right.
tells you, when he stands up here and tells you, you better dress right, you better talk right, you better act right, according to this word. Not according to what brother so-and-so says or sister so-and-so says, but according to what is in this word. And if there's something that is in this word that you don't like, then you better get on your knees and pray about it.
That's right.
There's no fault in this. The fault lies within us.
Amen. Amen.
I hope tonight that there's somebody who will just vision in their mind the moment I leave this walk of life. If I died right now, would I be able to say, or would I be able to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant, enter into the joys of the Lord? Would you? I want each and every one of you to ask that question tonight. You better know. We sung a song a while ago, my name is written there. Do we truthfully know that our name is written there?
Come on.
If we don't,
Yes, sir.
God give us a way to know.
Yeah, that's right.
We can get confirmation about it. And I tell you exactly how you do it. You don't do it by scrolling through your phone.
No.
You don't do it by going and hanging out with your buddies that want to drag you down.
Come on, Jared. Amen.
You do it by getting on your knees and saying, God, here am I.
That's right.
I want to know that I know that I know my name is written there.
Yeah. Right.
I used to lay in bed at night. And it gets so hot in that room sometimes. But it wasn't the heat. It was an old thing called conviction. We used to sing a song. But old man used to preach the word so hot that you could feel the heat. That right there, if you're living in sin and it don't burn you, that means you've had your conscience seared.
That's right.
You can get to a place where you push him off enough where he's going to say, I'm done with you.
That's right. That'd be scary.
I feel like I testified here a while back. I tell it again, and I may not quote it exactly right.
Help him, Lord.
No preacher man went to talk to the man and asked him about his soul, where he stood with the Lord. He said he went to talk to the man, and he asked him if he was saved. And he said, no, I'm not. And he said, would you like to be? And he said, preacher, all my life. Or for a long time then. He said, I've been trying to get saved. He said, but every time that I do, he said, I hear a voice just as plain as me and you talking, laughing at me. The Bible says that he'll call, and you won't answer. But then he'll call, or we'll call, and he'll laugh at our calamity.
Amen.
I said this morning, he's only required to give us one chance. That's the only thing he promised us in his word, and that all men will be given a chance.
Yeah, that's right.
After that, it's just pure grace and mercy.
Yeah.
I thank God that he gives more than one chance, at least in my case. And if you're running on your fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh chance, you're running on borrowed time.
That's right.
It may not always be that way. He says that his spirit wouldn't always strive with
That's
man.
right.
When he quits knocking, it's too late.
Amen.
You may live the rest of your life here on this earth. You may live to be old and gray. Imagine living your life. I heard another story one time. There's this old man. He didn't want to die. He tried to get the doctors to let him stay on life support. Because he felt like he went too far. He begged the doctors to keep him on life support so he wouldn't die. Because he was afraid of what was going to happen when he closed his eyes. Imagine living your life and you've turned him away I don't know how many times or not done the things that you know to do. You may, I'm not saying, I ain't speaking this to someone that's lost here today. I'm talking to someone who is possibly trying to live on that fence. They're caught between two opinions.
Amen.
Imagine living your whole life after you turn him away from that final time at age 20-year-old. Knowing that when you finally do die, and it's going to happen because it's appointed that the man wants to die.
Amen. It's good.
It'll happen.
Yes, sir.
You can mark it down. Imagine living your whole life knowing that you'll never feel that knock again or hear it.
Oh, my.
It's not just about when you die that you will face that punishment. You have no clue. There's two things that can happen to you that can cause you to miss heaven. One is you die lost, or you turn him away from that final time. And none of us knows when that's going to be.
Right. True.
I just want to leave that thought with you tonight. I hate I killed the service. But I promise you one thing. If you'll get in here and you'll dig, my great-grandmother Lynn had a vision of a gold mine. She said the deeper you dig, the more pure the gold. There's more to this thing than just going to church. Just saying I'm a Christian, folks.
That's right.
That's right.
I feel like I've just skimmed the surface.
Bless him, Lord.
But I tell you one thing. said the other day, with you or without you, I'm going on with Jesus.
Praise the Lord, Jaron.
If my family wants to go, that's fine and dandy. I'd love for them to go with me.
Yeah.
I pray for them. I leave off bills for them. And that's, I'm not trying to say it won't be better for me. But if you want to go to heaven, I'd love for you to go.
Amen.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and you choose to turn God away, that's your decision.
Amen.
Amen.
Mom and Dad can't force you to go. Brother and sister can't force you to go. You have to decide for yourself
That's right.
that I'm going to stand for Jesus.
Amen.
No matter what comes or no matter what goes, I'm going to go on with Jesus. As the old song says, folks may false accuse me. They may even scandalize my name.
Yeah.
But I'm going on with Jesus.
Amen.
Just the same.
Amen.
I implore you today to get this old-fashioned hour and beg God to show you that your name is written there.
Amen.
This is no game that we're playing.
No, it's not.
Some people treat it like a game. This is more serious than anything that you can do here on this earth.
Right.
God's opened my eyes over the last couple of months just how serious this is.
Right, Jaron.
We can run on and run on and run on. But when you turn and you run away from something, the more you run, the further that you've got. When you finally do decide to turn around and go back, that's that much further that you've got to go to get back to where you was at.
Amen.
When you start out in sin, it may start out with a little pot, a little sip of alcohol. The next thing you know, you're laid up somewhere and don't even know where you're at.
That's right. Amen.
You've lost your family, you've lost your friends.
Amen.
Everything that you thought that you was working towards is gone.
Right.
And when you finally do, if God has mercy on your soul, when you finally do turn around and decide to come back to Him, as Paul says, if he had a tattoo for every scar that he had, you will be able to see it.
Amen.
All those things that Paul could avoid it, and he'll tell you. All those things that even me as my young age could avoid it. I don't have a tattoo on my body, but long. My heart is full of scars.
Amen.
I'm ashamed of it. I don't even like to talk about it. There's things that I wish that I heard people say before. I wish that I could, or some people will say, where I was at, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything about my past law. I don't know about some of you. There's some things that I'd love to go back. But you know the beauty of salvation is that when He forgives you, they're cast as far as the east is between.
Amen.
He don't remember it no more.
Amen.
And when we bring it up and we try to relive it in our mind, then we're doing God a disservice because we're saying, God, you may have forgave me, but I just don't know that I really believe that. That's what we do when we bring these things back up. And we ponder on them and ponder on them. If God forgets these things, then why on earth can we not?
Amen.
If we sit here and say that our souls are saved and that we know that God give us that gift, let's do God a favor and just put that to rest.
Amen.
I understand that there's things that will hold me to my grave, but there's a difference in knowing that they was there and dwelling upon it. When you dwell on something, that's what makes it hard. don't know God, whether you are trying to straddle that fence. That you will give in 100%. He'll not accept nothing less, folks. You've got to give him 100%. We used to sing a song too, that said 99.5 won't do. It takes 100.
Amen.
But the beauty of it is when you show him that you mean business, when you show him that God, I really am going to sell out to you, boy, he makes it so easy for us. We're really a spoiled people. I've heard people say it's just so hard, it's the hard way, you got to do this, you got to do that. If it was hard, I know I could do it. Not the weak, it is. God will change your desires. And until you ask him to do it, you really don't know what I'm talking about. You say, well, I've tried that. But if you show God that you mean business, I think I've got 2, 3, or 4 guys up on the front row that'll back me up on this. There's no way that you can know how your desires will change is if you give up. Just completely give up and give in. When you bring something down to the altar, leave it there. Don't take it back out the door with you because there was no use of you going down there in the first place. I pray tonight someone will heed that call and give in 110%. Just for a moment, someone would like to come. I'd like to give that opportunity. But as I said before, and Nathan said many times, whether you're without you, whether your family or your friends, I want to make heaven my home.
Amen.
As Ethan's done told you, I want to hear God say out of his son.
Yeah.
Enter into the joys of the Lord, my good and faithful servant. I don't want to get skint there by the skin of my teeth.
No.
I'd hate to know that I got down on my deathbed before I finally give my heart to Jesus. Because I know that doing that, I was gambling my soul the whole time.
Right.
You're not gambling with money. You're not gambling with cars. You're gambling with the most important thing that God ever gave man. That's your soul.
Amen.
Someone may want to pray tonight. I pray that you do. He's sitting here with open arms.
Right.
We've done better in this place tonight, so we know he's here. And if there's something knocking at your heart, if you feel that knock, that may be the last time that you ever feel it. And I feel duty bound to tell you that. You're sitting there and your heart's about to beat out of your chest. That may be the last time that you ever feel that beat. I'd hate to know, like the old man said, that I had to go the rest of my life knowing that I went too far. Knowing that the only peace that I was going to have would be what little life that I had left to live on this earth. Every head bowed, every eye closed, just for a moment. But there'll be one that want to be honest with God